What up, YouTube? It's Knowledge of Self-Determination. So I just watched a video about dream chasing boxing with Jeff and Knox, and I didn't know this, but apparently Draymond Green has also uh, tossed his opinions into the hat of this whole flat Earth discussion that was repopularized by Kyrie Irving. Um, and I made a video about that particular uh, uh, interview that Kyrie Irving had, and and this is actually the thumbnail for that video over here on the right. Kyrie Irving thinks the Earth is flat, I believe is the name of the video. Now, here's some of the comments that was in my comment section. And first off, I have to say this. Dude, the fact that we live in the 21st century and we're still having this conversation is utterly ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry, but this is ridiculous that we're still having this conversation. As you can see, the one guy here said he graduated from Duke. And apparently I'm a dumbass because he graduated from Duke. I mean, come on. Okay, I didn't go to Duke, but I did go to college. I'm not telling you where because I don't care what you think. I have a degree in computer networking, and also on top of that, I studied physics in military school and in college, and calculus. And while I am not a physics whiz or a calculus whiz, I learned enough to. And I just wanted to say real quick, also, he said that I put up a straw man argument because of the picture. Secondly, the picture you showed in the beginning. No one believes in that stupid shit. That's called a straw man argument. First off, the picture itself wasn't the argument, as I said in my rebuttal to his statement that he left in my comment section. The picture wasn't the argument. What I'm arguing against is the claim that the Earth is flat, not a picture or a depiction of what some people may have envisioned a flat Earth to look like. So that's one thing. And secondly, he just assumed that I didn't know who Sam Harris was. And I've read 3 of Sam Harris's books. I'm familiar with all the Four Horsemen: Sam Harris, Daniel Dennett, Richard Dawkins, and Christopher Hitchens. And I've read all of their. I've read works from all of them. I've read one of Daniel Dennett's books. I've read 3 of Sam Harris's book. I've read Richard Dawkins, 3 of his books. I've read like 4 of Christopher Hitchens' books. So, and that was just last summer, mind you. So again, please, when you come into the comment section for this video, please don't assume you know what you're talking about, because all you're going to do is make a fool of yourself. You have no idea what I know, what I have done in my life, what I have read or have not read. You have absolutely no idea. But if you want to put yourself on blast and make yourself look like a fool, please, let the parties begin. To where as though I understand, I can at least follow a conversation to a degree, you understand? Now, I just have to say this. People continue to, because Draymond Green apparently said that how can the earth be round and we still on it and not fall off? First off, he doesn't understand gravity whatsoever. He obviously doesn't have an understanding of gravity. And he went to college too. So that lets you know how much information he actually retained or paid attention to while he was taking his classes. Gravity. Gravity is a word that we use to explain the attraction, the force that attracts matter to each other. It's a word that we use to explain a phenomenon that we find in our reality. Objects are attracted to each other. If you jump up, you're going to fall back down, right? Because of gravity. Secondly, when you look at the stars, this is one of the ancient ways that some of our ancestors were able to depict the changing of the seasons, the transition in the seasons, when it was best to hunt for certain animals and things like that when they get ready for, the cold seasons and the rainy seasons and the hot months and stuff like that, was by the positioning of the stars in the sky. As our Earth spins on its axis, it wobbles and it shifts and tilts on its axis. So we're getting different looks from the stars as the Earth shifts on its axis during those different seasons, as it wobbles and tilts. We're looking at different star systems. Like right now in the Southern Hemisphere, if you go to Australia, they're going to be looking at a completely different sky than we look at here in America in the Northern Hemisphere. If the Earth was flat, we would see the same sky consistently, mind you. We would all see the same sky. If you go to Australia, there are places in Australia where if you're there at the right time, you can actually see the Milky Way. You can actually see the Milky Way. We're on one of the outermost rings of the Milky Way because we live in a spiral galaxy, right? We live in a spiral galaxy. But from our position in the Northern Hemisphere in North America, we cannot see the same sky that they can see in Australia or Japan, or the Indian Ocean. You understand? We don't see the same sky. But as the Earth spins around, we have different access to different parts of space in the different star systems that we see as the Earth spins and rotates and shifts on its axis. I mean, it's just amazing, and I wanted to actually comment on one of my somebody who actually commented in my comment section. Now, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he has a video, or rather, he did an interview, I believe, at a college where he talked about the pear-shaped Earth. He used the word pear as a way to help the layman visualize how the Earth isn't a perfect sphere. But like he says, on a cosmic scale, our Earth is a perfect sphere. On a cosmic scale, if you stand back from it, from outer space, it's a perfect sphere. But on a smaller scale, if you actually look at it, stripped away the atmosphere and all the water that's on the planet and all the things of that nature, because of the spinning that the Earth does, it spins at, I think 900 plus some odd miles an hour, the Earth kind of flattened, it kind of spreads out at the equator. So some of the highest points on the Earth aren't the Himalayas, but points that are closer to the equator, because the way the Earth kind of splays out in the center because of the fact that it spins. Again, I'm not a physicist and I'm not an astrophysicist. And I didn't graduate from Duke University either. But I'm sure that Kyrie Irving wasn't a physics major. He didn't study astronomy. And calculus, like Newtonian calculus, for instance, which actually explains the perturbation of the planets, which is the twinkling. The twinkling that you see in the sky when you look at stars or planets is because those things are actually spinning, and that is light reflecting off of its atmosphere as it spins. So I just wanted to make this video because this should not be, this should not even be up for discussion. This should not be in anyone's vocabulary. No one should be talking about the Earth being flat. First and foremost. Now, one of the explanations that I've heard people say when they try to defend the flat Earth theory is that the Arctic surrounds the Earth, so there's a ring of ice around the Earth. You can get in a ship, and you can circumnavigate the planet in the ship and never run into this circle or this ring. I guess because in their theory, you'd just be traveling in one big circle. That is completely, totally, utterly ridiculous, because you can cross the Antarctic. You can actually cross it. You can cross over it, which means that there's an end to the Arctic. When you get to either end or edge of the Arctic of whatever portion of the planet it actually encompasses, you don't get to the edge of the planet and fucking fall off. So you can actually cross the Arctic, and however many different degrees or angles you want to actually cross it, you can cross the Arctic. You don't cross the Arctic and fall off the edge of the earth. These are beliefs from the Bronze Age. This is what Bronze Age people believed about the planet. First and foremost, this is what Bronze Age people believe about the planet. We're in the 21st century. We are in the age of technology and information. The age of technology and information. There are no scientists, no credible scientists, reputable scientists who is going to actually defend the theory of a flat earth. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So there's a conspiracy between all of the scientists on the planet to sell us this narrative of a flat earth or a round earth. Why? When the majority of the people on the planet have a particular worldview, believe in a god or a religious point of view or some sort of dogmatic system. And most of those, especially the Abrahamic ones, the earth is represented as being flat. Now we know that, especially in America, that that the majority of people that work in government in America are Christians. So people who work for the Board of Education in all the different states. Most of these people are Christian. So why would all of these people, all of these Christians, be promoting a round earth theory when their belief system, in fact, supports the theory of a flat earth? Why would they go through such lengths to disprove something that they believe to be true via their religion or their religious belief? It makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. So after I'm done with this portion of the video, I will go ahead and play a clip of Neil deGrasse Tyson's actual statement that he made about the Earth and this interview. So just bear with me for a moment, guys, and don't forget to like, learn, and subscribe.
So you spin, when you spin pizza dough, it kind of flattens out. It gets wider in the middle, and so Earth, throughout its life, even when it formed, it was spinning, and it got a little wider at the equator than it does at the poles. So it's not actually a sphere; it's oblate, and officially it's an oblate spheroid. That's what we call it. But not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than above the equator.
A little chubbier.
A little chubbier.
Yeah.
Chubby is a good word. It's like pear-shaped.
Yeah.
Features, but cosmically speaking, we're practically a perfect sphere.